ist gut hier.
Also Sir.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you.
You came here for a reason today?
Yeah, I almost can't believe it, but we made it happen again somehow. And
after many yes and no's, many doubts.
Exactly, because as you know, usually the whole idea of making a big release like an album is usually it triggers like a whole bunch of different anxieties.
Probably most of the people that we're talking to right now don't know, but when I met you, you were already traumatized.
Ah, yeah, true.
No?
Actually,
you had this other project going on, and you were just finishing your third album. Or
yeah, I was finishing my third album, right, and I was just working with one label. Was also not really looking around, did not know what was going on in the scene, and I was like, okay, they are taking care of me. They're gonna release my next album, and then suddenly they were bankrupt, and then I was like, what? Why did I do all this work for nothing now?
Yeah, making an album is always, it's a milestone, it's a huge project, and it's nothing you do in a day or in a week. You and me, personally, we started speaking about making our third album last year in Ibiza, so it took us more than a year.
Yeah, but considering, I mean, living in South America,
we can happily say we made it.
Yeah.
And listening to what we have achieved during those last 13 months, I can surely say this is probably one of the best, maybe the best album we did.
Yeah, that's also another surprise that I'm really super happy with the result. Also, like a few days ago, I think it was last Friday, what was the official, we finished the project off and we sent out all the pre-masters to mastering, and usually that's something really stressful because you need to make these decisions. That's it, this track, I can't go any further in terms of mixing. But somehow it did not happen. The whole day I was kind of in a Zen mode and everything. I was just rendering one pre-master of another. I was talking all day to our mastering engineer, but there was no stress involved, which was very surprising, but nice in a way.
And I understood the quality of the tracks we made when we were working on putting all tracks together into a DJ mix.
Yeah.
Now maybe some remember we did that on our first album. We mixed together all the how many tracks it was 10, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, we made a continuous DJ mix, and we did the same now last week. And I was traveling, I was listening to the whole thing, like the 70 minutes sort of, and was like, wow, this is cool, this is different. It feels healthy, it feels new, fresh, innovative. Also, at the same time, common. Mm-hmm. Like you can still hear it's us. But also, I like the fact that we didn't fear trying different things, working with vocalists, with different rhythms, with different. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a reflection of what we were doing the last 20 years together.
Absolutely, and especially regarding the mix. I mean, it's kind of finishing the circle. In the first album, I think that was my idea. Hey, let's try to mix it. And now you came up with the idea. And I think in the beginning, it was just last week, we both didn't know if this is really going to work out. Because, of course, you cannot force the tracks to fit to each other. But yeah, after a while we realized that it's really makes sense actually, this one, and it's a full journey, and it gives the whole thing another purpose also to listen to it like to a whole thing, you know, which is nowadays I'm always doubting, is it really still the times of releasing albums, because everything is so fast, people are mostly not even able to finish a song from beginning to the end, how they're gonna finish an album now, but this makes sense now. That feels very right. It has to be like this.
I wouldn't remember when I listened last an album of an electronic artist from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
But what I do and often do is I listen DJ mixes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess most of the people see it the same way. I mean, if you're not Rufus or a band that has like songs, like short songs of 3-4 minutes, you never listen in an album of a techno DJ from the beginning to an end. But now having it mixed down in the DJ mix, nice, relaxed, onward going journey makes total sense. Total sense.
And as you said, it's like feels like a really good modern reflection of what we're doing today, but also of what we have been doing for 20 years now. You know, it still feels really D-Nox and Beckers, but it doesn't feel like any old school. It's more, there are a lot of tracks that feel kind of timeless, you know. And this is what I actually like about music. It doesn't matter if it's from today or from 20 years ago or it's going to be released in 10 years, but it feels like, these tracks have always been there, which is the most important thing, because it's not just like some tools that are forgotten after a few weeks. I think it's something that you...
Yeah, or what many do these days. It seems like most people make music today only to enter in Beatport charts or get higher Spotify ranking positions. We never did music this way anyway, right? We always came here together and we started...
Never with a real plan in terms of music.
The energy that we felt in the day, inspired by whatever, our travels, our daily life situations, problems, or even new plugins, whatever. And we always started out of zero, and we never really said, okay, we need to sound like this or we need to make like this just to be there. No, this is what we did for 20 years.
I was thinking about this yesterday before I was going to sleep, that the whole process was still a little bit different compared to maybe the first album, because, as you said, normally we just come together and we just let out what we feel at that moment. And maybe here and there, maybe I had already like an idea started or something. But now it was a little bit more, of course, because of the distance, but also because you got way better in production also during all these years. So now with some tracks, you actually sent me ideas that you started alone or maybe with some collaboration partner, and which I kind of like, because it put me in this other spot to get already like a kind of ready vibe from a track. And a lot of times it was just, I listened for the first time and it feels like this, and then I have right away like 2, 3, 4 ideas. There could be this melody, this part maybe away, but I had a clear picture from the beginning, which is a little bit more difficult when you start with all the single elements from the beginning and put them together to build everything. But I could already like jump in on a vibe, and it was super easy to have a clear picture of where this is going to be. It was not with every track, but there were a few tracks like this, and I actually liked the way of working, and it worked out pretty well, even we are living so far away.
But it's probably that project or product where I could most help you, as you said, no? Like living in Brazil, you here in Germany, in this situation forced me and also you to work differently. Cannot fly every week just to meet us here for a studio session. And also, yes, I am a little further in my own process of working in Ableton on my computer. I learned a lot from you during these years. Now I don't fear as much as I did before. So my ideas are more developed than before. And some actually were already almost done songs, right?
Exactly, and sometimes it's like, it required only like maybe a phone call or two to get a track done. I remember, for example, I think with the Acid track, the track was already there and all the parts were there, but somehow it didn't make sense in terms of arrangement. And then at some point, I think we had a talk, and then you said, what about if you divide this track in 3 parts and you take this one part in the end to the front, so it was just like a shifting of the big parts, and then all of a sudden the whole track made sense, and we got it finished like this. Sometimes it's just like, the most easy ideas that I, for example, then don't see, and it's just like we need to talk even just for 5 minutes, and then everything makes sense, and one of us is able to finish the track or to continue working on something, and it's going in the right direction. So it was the whole thing was quite a smooth journey. And usually, before we start, and you tell me we're gonna do an album,
he was like, no.
No,
thanks. So I was trying to sell it to you as a collection of tracks. Now, I mean, it's also the fact that albums these days are, yeah, we just said it, you don't sell them as good as before. Nobody buys CDs, and to buy an album in Beatport or as MP3, nobody really does that.
We had even the luxury that we not release all the tracks that we made during this period of, 14 months or something. So, yeah, it worked out really well.
Remember, we lost some tracks too?
Oh, yeah. That was actually... was it this summer or was the summer before? It was the summer before.
It was last summer. It was last summer before we made in Ibiza. I know Frankie likes a lot his coffee, milk coffee. And so sometimes I get here, and that day I decided to buy 2 milk coffees, cappuccinos. I brought them here into the studio. I left them here on the table. Frankie had his spit, and then, yeah, in a blurry moment, he spilled the whole coffee on his... It was a new laptop.
Yeah.
And I knew already, oh my God, this wasn't good. So we lost the whole work from last year's summer, from last year actually, we lost.
Yeah, at least 2 tracks. And it was funny, it was my laptop, and you were actually more scared than me because you knew already this is going to be the end of that laptop. Because when it happened, the whole coffee was inside. I just turned it upside down.
And the music was still playing.
The music was still playing. It was like copy dripping out of the laptop. Yeah, I thought, it's going to be fine. I'm going to dry it. But it took like a day, and then it died forever.
So
and
then we had to start again, right? We had a time without having a laptop here, a computer in the studio. Then we came back. We went to Ibiza. Then we set on 0, and then we started all over again. And yeah, well, it's 20 years of our project, which is something I also was never expecting to reach that. I was not expecting to be 30 years a DJ and 20 years working with someone on music as a partner, also as a friend. I consider you all of that, and mentor. And yeah, man, it's 20 years. I mean, we have seen so many people come and go. And we are still there making our music and still loving it.
Loving it. That's the thing that I realized this year, and I'm not even sure where it comes from. You know, we're doing this so long, and I don't know. Some people, why are you traveling around the world and going to clubs like when you're at that age? And, yeah. But in the end, I have to say, I think this was one of my favorite years where I kind of enjoyed also DJing around the world, like more than ever, you know, like kind of. And I learned really to appreciate the feedback and the inspiration that we gave to maybe also new generations of producers and DJs that you meet everywhere around the world. And it's not only still fun. It feels to me like it's more fun than ever in a way. Even maybe we're not that integrated like in the scene by itself, which of course now gets taken over by younger generations. But that's not the problem. We still love the music, and
well, we still get booked.
We still get booked.
There's still people that want to see us play. Still people that buy our music. I mean, we just saw the chart positions of our latest EPs or releases. We're there, which makes me proud. I guess you too. But we were close to the 50s now, and probably this is what keeps us young also, no? Going out every weekend, be with the other generations. I mean, yeah, maybe music music connects, but also keeps us young.
Yeah, and sometimes even if you maybe get tired from this or there, you know, we need to remember ourselves. In the end, we go somewhere and to give people a good time with our music. I mean, you cannot actually ask for more, you know. Like I could not imagine going to work in a bank for 20 years every morning. Would probably, I don't know, have killed myself already or something.
No, luckily we have decided very early in our life that we will not work in the fabric or in the bank.
Yeah.
Thanks God, music came into my life and into yours, and thanks God I got to meet you more than 20 years ago. Thanks God we decided to make music together. And well, we are very glad to share this product, these 12 tracks with you. Hopefully you like them as much as we do, but we are very, very happy with the
Yeah,
result.
we gave everything we had, and we just can hope that it somehow reflects or resonates with you guys, and enjoy it.